Hey guys, I'm here with a new challenge today. This is going to be an art challenge, and I'm really excited about this one. This is one I've kind of dabbled with in the past, and it's something that I am really excited to finally put into a challenge format and to hopefully succeed in. So we're going to see how it goes. This is called It's Still Life, right? The basic idea of this challenge is that I'm going to take two seemingly unrelated objects and combine their attributes and characteristics into a character design. Now, as with any good challenge, there is some criteria that I have come up with that I must follow in order for me to succeed in this challenge. And that first one is that the objects that I choose cannot be from the same class or group of related objects. Meaning I can't choose two kitchen utensils, right? They must be two completely different, unrelated objects that we would not use in everyday life together. The second thing is that the character must contain shading, coloring, and detail work. I typically don't use a lot of color. I don't like color. I do like to use shading and detail work. That's kind of something that I always try to include in my illustrations. I'm not worried about this aspect unless it gets down to the wire, I'm running low on time, and I have to quickly include it. Then it might get sloppy, it might get rushed, and it could turn out pretty horrible, I'm not gonna lie. The third thing is that the character must be placed in a relevant environment. So unfortunately, I can't just draw a character on a white document, right? I don't know how much detail work is going to go into that environment. I'm definitely going to put the majority of the effort into the character design, but the environment that they're in is definitely important, and it must be relevant, and it just can't be some random place that doesn't make sense for that character to be in. The fourth thing is that the character must be given a name and a special attribute, which makes them stand apart from their peers. Now, this special attribute, I don't like to use special powers because I really want to think outside of the box here. Instead of using stuff like, flying, x-ray vision, super strength, stuff like that, I really want to push myself to think of something that maybe wouldn't technically be considered a superpower, but is still pretty important, and that would still make them stand apart from everybody else. And then the very last one is that I only have 10 minutes to go around my house and choose the two unrelated objects. And then I have 4 hours to complete the character design, the environment that they're in, the coloring, shading, and detail work, give them a name, and give them the special attribute. It's a lot in only 4 hours. I think I can do it. I have confidence in myself. Kiki agrees with me. So I think we're going to go ahead and do this, okay? Let's go ahead and start the 10 minutes of finding these two unrelated objects. Okay guys, I am walking around my house trying to think of two unrelated objects that I could use for this character. Okay, so I think I found the first one. And this is a dragonfly wing. I found this last summer, I think it was, just right outside my door. I don't know, I just loved it. I loved it. So I kept it, and I think I'm gonna use it. A dragonfly wing. That's pretty random, right? It's gonna be hard to find anything that can correlate with that, which is good, I guess. All right, and I'm looking for my second object that I can use for my character design. Let me go downstairs. I guess right now what I'm looking for is something that will give it structure. Maybe. Like I said, I only have to use the attributes of these objects, so I don't necessarily have to put a dragonfly wing on this character design. Okay. I'm looking for something, with form, something with depth, something that can add a different element, something that's as far and extreme from a dragonfly wing as I can think of. Oh gosh. Okay, I think I'm overthinking this. I only have like 2 minutes left. Like randomly choose something at this point. Hey, actually that doesn't belong there. Focus. Focus. Time's running out. I just need to grab something. This is a little owl incense burner. It opens up. I love it. I'm going to use this. Okay, guys, I found my two elements, my two items that are hopefully unrelated. The first one is the dragonfly wing. It is super interesting. It has these little cells that, are typical with dragonfly wings, and its transparency is really intriguing. It also has these brown patches that look like it's starting to rot, and to me what it reminds me is that it looks very weathered. It looks, like it's not polished. It's not pristine condition. It doesn't look like it's been straight from the Dragon Wing factory. And so I really want to pull that aspect into this character design, kind of have this be a very rustic, a very weathered, in the elements character. He's not going to be all shiny, bright teeth, glistening abs and muscles. That's not going to be this character. The second one I have is the Owl Incense Burner. Here's what I love about this little owl guy. Aside from the fact that he is just incredibly adorable, his eyes are very pronounced. They're very large. There's detail in them that is just incredible, and I am definitely going to use those different elements within it. If you open up the incense burner, there is this texture. Once again, looks weathered. It looks old. It looks like it's been used and loved very much, and so I really want to add that. And then, of course, you can't get around the aspect of it being this gorgeous shade of green, the feather work. And then on the very top, there's like this, with its ears going down into the nose, there's like this leaf shape, crown shaped looking thing. And I don't know, these are all just elements I'm definitely going to have to keep in mind. Without further ado, I have 4 hours to create this character. And this character must be in an environment that is natural for it. This character must include coloring, shading, and detail work. This character must have a name and a special ability, a special attribute of some sort. And I have 4 hours to do it in. I think I can do it. I hope you believe I can do it. Let's see. It's going to be fun. Let's go, guys. Okay guys, so here's where I'm at. I kind of just spent the last 25 minutes just sketching random ideas. Most of them I knew wouldn't work or I wouldn't use, but I just kind of just to warm up, I just started sketching, and when I was doing those sketches, I kind of would just go back and refer back to that initial detail page that I did. Again, very beginning, I just started drawing the different elements of the dragonfly wing, and the owl incense burner that stood out to me and that I might want to use. And I remember I kind of focused on the dragonfly wing for a moment, and there's these details in the wing. There's these segments, that the cells make up. There's like 3 or 4 of them, and they're kind of leaf shaped. And so I just started drawing those shapes, and I came up with this leaf, right? And that kind of, like, what if I create a character that's a leaf? Having this character have different elements of its anatomy, like its eyes and its mouth and whatever. What if those are all made up from different elements of a leaf? And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm kind of just messing around with this. I still have 3.5 hours, so I'm doing good. I'm at right where I should be. So I'm excited about this, and we're just gonna keep going. I think I got the basics of this character figured out. She is a really sweet, elderly leaf, and I'm just really getting, Roz vibes from Monsters Inc. This isn't gonna be Roz. She's gonna be sweet, I promise. I got the basics, so I have her leaf eyes, her gummy mouth, and her hand with a cane, and her acorn purse, and of course her fabulous legs. Like, look at those. I think I'm gonna make her wearing slippers, just to, because that's the kind of woman that she is. Got the basics figured out, and now I'm just gonna kind of start over and really redo this and add detail and really polish this up. I am at 37 minutes, so I'm ahead of schedule so far. I don't want to put my hopes up just yet, because things can happen. Things do happen. So I'm going to go ahead and actually start this now, and I'm super excited. I don't have a name for her yet, but I'm really digging her. I'm really digging her. I said that things can happen, that things do happen. So whether I manifested them or not, things definitely happened. At some point, I got way into this drawing, and I completely forgot to fill you guys in with the rest of the process. So we're gonna fast forward to the end here, and you may just hear from me again. Because, as is evident, things do happen. That is 4 hours. Dang. Um, wow, once again, yet another struggle. But I'm happy with what I came up with. The reason for my silence and why I'm hesitating to show this character to you. Uh, as I was drawing and as I was just really kind of getting, especially more into the detail work, I just started to connect with this character. And I started to see people in this character that mean a lot to me and meant a lot to me, and I wasn't expecting that. And so I kind of would just get lost in, in kind of the memory world. There are things that I wish I obviously would have done better. The things that I struggled with, I feel like I said, guys, things happen. I did not go into this process or in this challenge to really have this kind of experience, but this happens quite frequently with me, and it's why I really gravitate towards creativity. At some point during this process, and I think I do remember exactly when it kind of started to click. I just started to see things within this character that I was struggling with and struggling to accept, and I really wouldn't face, and I would choose to ignore. And despite everything I wanted, and I tried to push through and tried to ignore it, I couldn't. And so it all kind of came out in this character. And why I struggled to critique this character right after I finished drawing it is because I was still processing it myself. These things that I really was refusing to acknowledge, and these people that I really deeply missed. And at the time, critiquing it just wasn't something I felt was right. And I struggled with that because in a way I felt like I was critiquing that pain or them in some way. With that in mind, I'm going to continue the video now, but please keep in mind the reasons why I couldn't critique this character. It really shows going forward in the rest of the video that kind of at least I can tell looking at it. I'm just really kind of, I can tell I'm uncomfortable and I really want to just get this over with. So I apologize for that. And spoiler alert, you will hear from me one more time. Not only because of that fact of how I, for some reason, feel a connection to this character, but I'm just proud of her. She turned out well, and this is one that I want to revisit someday. And I'm proud of her, and I'm very excited to show her to you. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you guys Maple. She is a spunky old leaf. Not a maple leaf, actually, but Maple seemed like a fitting name for her. Her special ability, her special attribute, is that she carries around that acorn. At first, I was thinking it was going to be like an acorn purse. And that was before I came up with an idea for her special attribute. She is the last of her kind. And that's kind of the world that she's in. And I really wanted to make the world desolate and kind of sagging and old and drooping. She carries around that acorn, and it's her task to, when she feels the moment is right, and when she can feel the change in the wind, she's gonna plant that acorn and new life is gonna start. And so her special ability isn't the acorn. Her special ability is her awareness and her sensitivity to her environment. I'm really obsessed with her. I love her so much. I was worried for several hours if this was even going to turn out. I'm really happy it did because I love her so much. I definitely, I really enjoyed this challenge. There is, as far as what the elements I pulled from my two objects, which were the dragonfly leaf and the owl incense burner. The main thing that was consistent between them two that I really ran with was that weathered, that vintage antique, been through a lot of seasons story that each of those two objects that I chose tell. That was kind of the basis. But after just kind of sketching, for a while, I just I saw the element in the dragonfly leaf has like these segments that are really kind of they swoop, and then the cells are contained within that, and I just started drawing those, and one of those drawings was a leaf. And I'm like, kind of stuck out, so I kind of just ran with that. I got Maple here. She's a little rough. She's barely holding together, but I love her to pieces. I hope you guys will love Maple too. And I cannot wait to do this again. I'm really excited about this. This is awesome. I love you, Maple. I'm gonna end it there. Of course, I couldn't end it on that note. While I definitely do not regret this challenge, I was not expecting this outcome, but I am so glad that it did. And this is kind of what I was hoping would come out of me starting to release videos again. My goal is to hopefully share with you guys how creativity can be so much more than just a hobby or even a career. For me, creativity has been an incredible outlet and an incredible therapeutic tool for me, and I really hope that more of these possibly might transpire. If you head over to my blog on Medium, the link will be in the description. I will definitely be going more into this challenge in more detail as to everything that happened, both the good and the bad, and there'll definitely be more Maple there. So I hope you guys will definitely head over there. Again, the link will be in the description. And until next time, guys, stay well, keep being creative, and I will see you next time.